Welcome to the news at 10 on this opening day of the 2021 legislative session, one that is expected to be both newsworthy and historic for a number of reasons.
As is the case every year on the first day of the session, the governor delivered his State of the State address. But this year, Governor Brad Little did so without the traditional audience of lawmakers and citizens in the State House.
Our Joey Prechtel hits the highlights for us on an address unlike any other we've seen in state history.
Governor Brad Little delivered his annual State of the State. He touched on many topics from the pandemic.
The COVID reality is heartbreaking. To Idaho's hospital and healthcare workers, thank you.
And he also talked about his budget recommendations for the next year.
I am proposing more than $450 million in tax relief. This would be among the single largest tax cuts in Idaho history.
And KTVB caught up with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle following the speech.
I was pleased to see that some of our priorities aligned when you look for transportation, infrastructure, broadband, I think became an issue as his broadcast into the House chambers today stalled multiple times and we got the spinning wheel.
I was really happy to hear about restoring funding for education and restoring the agency cutbacks because I think, and funding Medicaid. That was a biggie.
The governor's budget also calls for investing in the state's infrastructure, mainly roads.
One of the basic roles of government is to ensure a safe, connected system of roads and highways. We cannot ignore a growing problem that steals Idahoans' time and threatens their safety and our economic prosperity.
The governor's budget also calls for investing in education, expanding broadband, helping small businesses, water and agriculture, and law enforcement. His address also sent a message for hope with the COVID-19 vaccine being distributed and administered statewide.
As Idahoans, we must choose to come out of this pandemic stronger and more resilient, more united than ever before.
Now, of course, the Republicans and the Democrats in the state legislature have their own priorities that they want to get accomplished during this next legislative session. For Republicans, it's about limiting the governor's executive authority during emergencies, limiting how long the emergencies he declares can last, and they also want to be able to call themselves back into session and not have to wait for the governor to do it. They also want to have more of a say if Idaho were to receive federal money like the state did last year when the state got more than $1 billion from the federal government in the CARES Act. Now, for the Democrats, they want to focus on criminal justice reform. They want to focus on investing in public education as well as the roads. And of course, both sides do want to tackle the property tax issue still affecting many parts of the state. But when it comes to that separation of powers issue, we heard today from the Republicans that they really want to tackle this issue quickly. And right before the 10 o'clock show, I actually checked the House State Affairs Committee agenda for tomorrow morning, and already there are 3 items on their agenda for tomorrow pertaining to this issue. That committee is set to meet tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Back to you.
Almost symbolic that annoying spinning wheel even struck today during the State of the State address. All right, Joey Prechtel reporting for us. Joey, thanks.